Welcome to the First Customers Podcast. Today we have Omayya Atout, founder and CEO of Songlorious. Songlorious is a company that was featured on Shark Tank, and they have a roster of musicians that make custom songs for you for any occasion to help you tell your story. And in just 2.5 years, they've already hit $5 million in revenue. So he's got a lot of things we could learn from him, from his story and how they got started. Omayya, welcome to the show.
Hey, Paris. Thanks for having me.
Now, I said Omayya, but I'm just thinking about what we talked about before. It's Omayya, isn't it?
Omayya, yeah. But I mean,
Omayya.
Okay. If anybody gets it right at this point, I'm shocked. I mean, even my own mom. I make that joke all the time because she doesn't fully say it correctly.
Right. Omayya Atout, right? Not Atout?
Atout, yeah, that's right.
Atout.
Unless you're in Alabama, then it's Atout.
Okay, Omayya Atout. Where's that name from? What's your ethnic background, or where are you from?
Yeah, so my dad is actually Palestinian. So my mom is American. So I'm like a mutant of some kind. And yeah, and I'm named after his grandfather, after his dad, and it's a very rare name, even in the Middle East. So
okay,
they made fun of me over there too, so it doesn't matter.
Now, were you born here in America, or?
Well, yeah, it's kind of a long story, but I was born in Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Oh wow!
At DCH Hospital. And then when I was 5, my dad he's an engineer and he got a job in the Middle East. So we moved there. And then when I was 18, I graduated high school over there. I went to an American school, and then I came here to go to college, and I'm never moved back since. So.
Wow. Okay. So that's not what you expect to hear from somebody kind of with a Palestinian name. I don't know how big the Palestinian community is in Tuscaloosa. And just for everybody, that's where I'm recording from, is Tuscaloosa. And so,
yeah, we got
that's kind of how we got connected through LinkedIn. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you ever eaten at Hooligans, that's owned by Palestinians.
Oh, no way. I wasn't sure what their ethnicity or nationality was.
Yeah.
The Hooligans guys. Okay. A popular local restaurant for all those outside of this area.
Yeah, good food after drinking for a lot of people out.
Sure. So, man, your story is pretty incredible. I haven't talked to anybody who's been on the show Shark Tank yet. So let's jump right into, how did you get your very first customers for Songlorious?
Yeah, so I mean, it's not like an amazing story. There's no like magic that we did. We didn't have some kind of spell that. I was just to go back just a little bit. My cousin works on e-commerce stores and has some e-commerce stores, and he was just telling me about it and how he does stuff with e-commerce. And we didn't really want to go the route of e-commerce just because. It wasn't something we were passionate about. And I was thinking, what are we passionate about? We're passionate about music. We play music. Me and my wife, we lived in Brooklyn at the time. And so one day I was sitting on the couch, literally just came up with this idea. I was thinking like, hey, we'll make funny songs for people to give to their friends, like some kind of joke songs and stuff. And we record music all the time from home. Like, it sounds like something straight out of the studio. So we're like, it doesn't take long, we can make a website. So I make a website quickly on Shopify. And, Shopify is built for products, not services, really.
Right.
I don't know how it is now, but that's how it was when we started in summer of 2020. And I started the website very simplistic, didn't look great. And my wife's like, no, she didn't feel like starting a company. And I told her, what about the name Songlorious? And she was like, all right, I'm in after that, just because it was such a great name. So that's how I talked her into it. And then so we put the website up, and because I've talked to my cousin with e-commerce, I set up Facebook ads. I just set up my first ad. It's just a picture, something like "Get your custom song," and we advertised. We tried to advertise all over the world, and we got our first customer from Australia, and it just came like within the first 5 hours setting the website up.
Did you say you did any advertising to put it out there? How did you get the word out about it?
No, Facebook advertising.
Facebook advertising. Okay.
Yeah. So I set up a Facebook advertising account with very minimal knowledge on it, put up an ad, put some money behind it, and within 5 hours we got our first purchase. and it was at a very bad ROI. So like I spent like maybe I had because I was working on the railroad at the time, and I was using all my money that I saved up for this stuff, and I put like $500 behind it, just like I'm just gonna blast it and see what happens.
Whoa.
And we only got one customer, and we didn't make our money back on that. So um, I just
What was
wanted
the
to get.
price point for the service? How much did the service cost when it first launched?
Yeah, when I first launched, it was like we were like, we'll do this for anything, really. So we were setting at like $90 for a full song, and that's us
Whoa.
writing the song, mixing it, mastering it, recording it, singing it, everything. So it
Wow.
takes a lot of work, and you got to really kind of be a fairly experienced producer and know how to use DAWs. When DAW is just like a home, um, it's basically the program you use to record music on. It's called a DAW.
How many hours do you think goes into recording one song?
Yeah, so it varies for so that when we started, then I was already pretty good at it, just very efficient, and uh, it would take me about if we're sitting down solidly, me and my wife together writing the song, doing all that, it would take a total of probably an hour and a half back then, maybe 2 hours,
Okay.
just because we're kind of very experienced. We've been recording a lot of music, and at the time, right before the pandemic, we were. Um, we were doing like gigs in Brooklyn and stuff like that. But for our artists, and we have about 300 artists now on our website, and it depends on the artist. It can take anywhere between 30 minutes to 4 hours to record a song from start to finish. It just depends on how experienced they are, and even for ones with people who can do it in like 30 minutes to an hour, there's still standards they have to meet, so they can't
Right.
just turn in garbage that they did in 30 minutes. It still has to meet standards. But if you can meet standards in 30 minutes, then that's great because basically you're making more money per hour.
Yeah. So did you spend a lot of time like on the design of the initial website? Did you have experience there, or did you just use like a random Shopify theme and throw it up there?
Yeah, I mean, literally just threw it up there.
Wow.
No design experience. In fact, I'm very bad at design. My wife is much better at design, so she tells me. But I believe her. I think she is. And yeah, I just threw it up there. And for the logo, I got I hired somebody online to just create a logo for us that kind of saw like we gave them a little detail on what we're looking for, and they gave us a logo.
How much did you spend on the logo, you think?
I don't remember. It wasn't a lot. It was less than $100.
Wow.
Yeah, but it came out solid and exactly what we were picturing in our heads. So we stuck with it.
Yeah. Oh, is that still the logo today? The same
Still,
one pretty much?
still till this day. Yep.
Okay. Um, the first customer came through the Facebook ads for $500. And then how'd you get the next customer?
From then on, it was a long series of figuring out how to run digital media ads and how to reach customers as organically as possible, because we quickly realized that so much of our costs end up going towards advertising. Digital advertising can be expensive, but
For
you
sure.
can make a lot of revenue. I mean, you know, if you want to make profitable revenue, you got to really get your ad costs down, and that's the hardest part. And that's really where
Right.
it comes down to. I've always said that I find the marketing part. I don't find the marketing hard because I know what I want to market. I know what our product is. I know what's good about us and all that. It's the skill of digital advertising and ad buying. That's the hard part, and that's when you
Mm,
need experts that know how to really run ads and test ads and all that kind of stuff.
for sure.
Anything that has to do with digital advertising. That's the real skill, in my opinion. Yeah. So
Definitely.
so so yeah. I mean, I guess to answer your question, we just tried to get better at running ads ourselves before we end up trying to hire out the marketing. And eventually, we started making enough money to where we could both quit our jobs. I'm a civil
Wow.
engineer, graduated from Alabama like you, and I was working at Amtrak at the time. Um, I was on this Penn Station project, and we were rebuilding all the track in Penn Station. But anyway, it's boring. That's why I left. But uh, we got to a point where we were like, I could quit my job today. And I remember I told my wife Ellen, who's a co-founder, by the way. Uh,
Okay.
I told her, and she was with me on Shark Tank. But I told her, if we make $800, this was like a month in. I was like, if we make $800 by like noon today, revenue, I'm gonna quit my job. And that day we made like 1,200. And I called in and gave my 2 weeks, put in my 2 weeks notice. And it was like the most nerve-wracking time of my life because I'd never quit a job before. Well, that's not true. I quit a job before, but not without having another job lined up.
Right. So why did you make that ultimatum for yourself at that day? That was
Because it was a risky move. And honestly, it was just, for anybody working a job, I've been working on the railroad for 10 years. And railroads, it's very hard work. And I loved railroading. It's enjoyable work. But
I think they need your help these days, man. We've had some issues here lately with the railroad.
yeah,
All these
yeah.
crashes. It's crazy.
Yeah, I got something to tell you about that too. If
Okay.
we'll get to it, but
For sure.
yeah. So I just decided, like if I want to do this properly, I got to be full time.
Yeah.
But I don't want to do it full time. I don't want to do it full time unless it can be justified. I don't want to make a crazy decision and quit my job and then not have anything and then we go under. So I set a number, and honestly, it was still a little too early because I feel like things could have still went wrong and I would have been totally screwed. You know what I mean? But it worked out, so I'm glad I quit my job that day.
So how did you get the money to go from losing $410 on that first sale, and that was all your ad budget at the time? Did you just have to save up until you had more money and then run another ad before you got another customer to start off? Like, how did you scale your ad spend if you were just personally funding it?
Yeah, I mean, I basically I had credit cards, just like anybody
Really?
else had credit cards, and I was just starting to put Facebook ads on my credit cards, and I was racking up credit card debt when we started out. Yeah, it was a horrible move.
Dang.
That's why when people ask for advice, I'm like, don't ask me. Maybe I might
Yeah,
not be the best person. I might have been lucky, but
for sure. Yeah. You went all in.
yes, yeah, I went all in, and I mean, we really, really believed in the idea, and we started seeing a lot of customers early on, and we became profitable very quickly. Although, it wasn't a crazy amount of profit, but it was enough to start being able to survive and pay debt off quickly. So, and our cost was very low at the time, other than paying the artists.
So at first you were doing all the songs yourself. How long before, you're just swiping the credit card to get people to request songs and you're just kind of floating that money until you're making enough? Two questions. When were you able to stop using the credit card to float your ad spend? And then also, when were you able to start outsourcing some of the song making?
Yeah, so honestly, within maybe within a month, we started getting artists contacting us because they saw our ad and saying "Hey, I'm an artist. Are you looking for people to join the team?" And we'd be like, "Yeah," because we started to get to a point where our Facebook ads were so successful that we were getting too many orders and we couldn't handle the orders.
Now, are you
I
still
mean,
after the first month, they were that successful, the Facebook ads?
yeah, probably after a month or two. It was very quick.
So, okay, then let's pause for a second because I've got a lot of experience in Facebook ads. So I'm curious, how did you iterate your ad creative or whatever to figure out what worked better than $500 per sale?
Yeah, it's we did a horrible job at it. And I'm telling you, if I had any advice to give anyone that wants to do digital advertising, really, really try to figure out how to do it properly because I wasted a lot of money early on trying to just messing around with it. So early on, and look, Facebook's changed a lot. So I'm sure if you use Facebook ads. It seemed like it was throw money at Facebook ads and just customers would be rushing towards you like they'd show the exact person you want to see your ad. So at the time, we had like three ad sets, not ad sets, but three ad creatives, just like pictures of like a couple, and with one of the custom songs playing over it, and just the copy would be something about get a custom song for your loved one, something like that, and and that worked for us well, especially when we were doing the songs ourselves. We could afford to spend a lot on ads, even though customer acquisition cost was high. We'd still be able to make some money on the back end because we didn't have to pay anybody. We were doing the songs ourselves, So we're kind of just creating songs for money.
And what was that very first ad? Was it that similar format, like a couple and a song in the background?
Yeah, the first ad was just a guy playing guitar. It was a picture. I still remember the picture, and it was just like get a custom song, something like that. Yeah, it was just a picture, and we used those, and actually those were very successful back in the days. Back in the day, it seems like once the iOS changes happened, and for anyone who doesn't know that, iOS changed their policy for apps. They basically can't track users across apps anymore. Once they did that change, it became you have to really, really focus in on honing in your ads and perfecting them and testing them for them to be profitable at all and have any decent kind of ROI. As opposed to before, you could really just throw anything out there, and it wouldn't be amazing ROI, but you'd be able to make money if you had a good product.
Yeah. And so what was it, 2021, the privacy issues hit Facebook really hard, and then that probably hit you guys just like it hit everybody else.
Oh yeah, I mean immediate, like as soon as it came in, like within 6 months it was really bad because we had to make an adjustment. It's just something you got to do with the business anyway. You got to always be ready to make adjustments.
Right.
But yeah, it really hurt bad. And when I understand people's like concern for privacy on Facebook and stuff like that. And I try not to be biased, and of course I am because I have a business that depends on Facebook ads. I mean, among other ones, but a lot through Facebook ads. And sometimes I just want to tell people like, I'm not 100% on this opinion because I don't know what Facebook's doing exactly, but I know that mainly they're tracking people to sell them ads. And if they want to get ads that are relevant to them, then Facebook's going to have to track. Otherwise, you're going to get some random ads here and there that doesn't mean anything to you, And not other than that, but it also, Facebook is huge for small businesses because any small business can launch and then become very popular through Facebook ads. But when the cost of ads is going up, it's hard to get your feet off the ground. We kind of got lucky starting before this happened.
Yeah. I think I ran my first Facebook ad in like 2008. And I was doing like freelance graphic design at the time. And I spent $50 and got, like $500 logo design job from it and a $1,000 website job from it back then. But I wasn't in the marketing mindset back then at all. And I was just like, awesome, but I can't afford to keep spending this crazy $50 for ads. And so I never spent ads again back then until later in my career when I was doing marketing and stuff. And closer to like 2013 or 14, started running ads for a client I was working with. And it was still kind of the golden age of Facebook ads. It wasn't as good as it was in the early days where you could upload like one email address, 10 email addresses and target that small of a list of people. But now you got to have at least 1,000 or 100 or whatever it is now. And there's all the privacy issues. So a lot of the targeting options went away, but yeah, it's crazy how much it's changed over the years. I think somebody starting out definitely has a different, it's like a higher entry level or a learning curve or whatever, starting a new business now.
Yeah, big time. Learning curve and entry level cost wise, it's harder.
Right.
It's harder. Like I've helped people start, like they want to start a business. I try to help them with their Facebook ads. And it's just like, it's expensive to get started now.
Yeah. So you focused on trying out different creative, different types of ads until you found something that was a better cost per sale or cost per conversion.
Exactly.
And that took about a month before. Well, you said within a month or two, the ad started generating a lot of leads. So I guess even less than it sounded like a couple of weeks. You guys must have iterated through several different types of creative.
But here's the thing: we weren't iterating that much back then. I was just launching and trying different targeting. I wasn't changing. I wasn't changing the creative as much, which is why it wasn't like the best return on ad spend.
So it's partly maybe the Facebook pixel or whatever learning who's buying, and then you're also testing targeting, and so it's getting
exactly And the Facebook pixel mostly, that thing is powerful, and it really knows who your customers are. Sometimes I feel like it doesn't give us, back in the day, it wouldn't give us customers. I'd be like, the pixel doesn't like us today or something. It's like it's against us. But mostly just the pixel learning it. I mean, it's the most inefficient way. Like I want to say most inefficient way to start a business, but really it was efficient. It's just when it comes to marketing, we didn't have the money to hire marketing experts early on. So I was just learning as I was going and trying to spend as little as possible while making money without throwing too much money at it. And if you put too much money on Facebook ads, they'll just spend it and you'll get no customers. So
yeah. All right. So you figured out something that worked on Facebook, and then 2021 hits, everything gets harder on Facebook. Did you pivot to other platforms? Because I think that's right around when TikTok was starting to spike, and everybody started looking elsewhere to see if,
we started looking so we had really good SEO from the beginning. Very early on, and that's because I hired. Just once again, you got to remember, I didn't know anything, and I still mostly don't know anything. But at the time, I was just like, you Google like, how do you improve SEO, and these people come up that like, we can fix your SEO, and I find a decent person that's like, not a company, but a guy who does SEO help because he had lower costs and he seemed like he knew what he was talking about. And I just told him, hey, I got this website, Songlorious, and I want you to help with SEO. And SEO is something really hard to learn for like people just starting businesses, and it's like it's complex to understand. I'm just trying to put myself in the mindset back then. How long it took me to understand what SEO is, and it's all it is optimizing Google. Basically, it's mainly Google because nobody's using. I mean, there's people using other ones, but Google's and it's just trying to show up at the top when people search keywords that are similar to yours. Right. That's how I understand it. And anyway, this guy helped, launch some, I don't know, keywords and certain blogs and stuff like that to get us better SEO. So our SEO started getting better pretty quickly, but we never advertised on Google. So once it's January, early 2021, I'm thinking. My mindset, which is when I search for something on Google, I automatically scroll past the ads to the top thing. And I thought everybody did that, but I was very wrong. Not everybody does that. So once I realized that and we launched Google Ads, again, very bad at launching Google Ads. Everything's not running well. It's still early in the company. And it's expensive and our return on ad spend is so bad. But that's when we started doing more Google ads, which right now is like one of our best sources of customers.
Wow. The Google ads, not just the SEO, the organic.
Yeah, both. I mean, Google ads is very good. The SEO organic is good. And our Google ads is like as good as Facebook at bringing us customers.
Now, is it like both of them, like Facebook got harder, so it came up to kind of what Google's level was, or did Google get down? You know what I mean? Like, did Facebook just get harder and more expensive to where it rose up to what Google's level was, you think, or was it Google improving as well?
I just think, well, at this point, I mean, it's a really long running story.
Yeah.
up to, where we are now. But it's all about, that's why I say the ad buyer is so important, the person
Mm.
who's ad buying, because they have a set of skills that are, it's like I feel like a 4-year university degree in ad buying wouldn't be enough to know what some of these people know,
Yeah.
because they constantly have to update their knowledge. But I think just optimizing the ads is kind of equalized. It made actually our Google ads a little better than Facebook when it comes to return of
Wow.
investment, but now our Facebook is catching up again.
And so now you've got people running both of those things for you.
Yeah, yeah. I've got a guy who's amazing at running ads. Probably, I've never seen anyone out there better than him. And he's
Wow.
not like a known guy. Like, there's a lot of famous gurus out there and stuff. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Awesome. All right. So October 2021, you got onto Shark Tank. Season 13, episode 2, you're on there. How'd that happen?
yeah. So, when we're running a business and we're just like trying to come up with, we've always got ideas. Everybody's always putting ideas out, and we've been suggested Shark Tank a bunch of times, and I'm just like, I'm not a pessimist, but I'm kind of a pessimist, but I'm kind of like try to be a realist and like what's possible. And when you see the amount of people that apply to Shark Tank and that get on, it's like almost impossible to get on. So I always dismissed it, and then one day we're just like, let's just apply and see what happens. So we applied for Shark Tank. We get a call back, and we're like, oh, okay, that's crazy. There's like 10 steps before you even get approved for that you're going to be on the show. So there's like 10
Really?
separate steps that are separated by like months. So we probably applied in January of 2021, and then we were on the show, or maybe like, yeah, probably around January to March of 2021, and we were on the show by July 2021. So there's months of separation.
And then the show aired in October.
I aired in October, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So we just applied, and every step we kept getting pushed through. And they assign you to some junior producers, and they kind of walk you through everything. And they, one day you submit a video, then you submit a pitch, and then a pitch to the producers, and then it just gets more and more in depth until they're like, you're going to be on the show. And then they tell you, just so you know, even if you record the episode, you still might not air. So don't like get your hopes up.
Gotcha.
So they said, you're not guaranteed to be on the show until you see your face on the TV. It's a very last second. So you're like, so the whole time I'm like, this is never going to happen. Never going to happen. And then it happens.
Do they give you any hint, like once it's going to be on the show, do they tell you like what the possible date is or episode or something like that?
Yeah. So they tell you 2 weeks ahead of time.
Okay.
They tell you your episode's going to air in 2 weeks, but they tell you that that's still not a guarantee.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but they give you 2 weeks notice, and the only reason they do this is courtesy, just so you can prepare your website and stuff for this surge of customers.
Right. Okay. And so it was purely just you guys was thinking, hey, we could get a little marketing, get the name out there, and I guess best case scenario would be get one of the sharks to invest and help scale it even more.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Can you talk about that experience of actually doing the show?
Yeah. So we had our pitch ready, and we practiced it, a million times at least. And even in the hotel room, they flew us out to LA, and in the hotel room all night, we slept like 3 hours maybe. Obviously could not sleep at all. We're just practicing the pitch over and over and over. The pitch was me and my wife together. We finally go, it's a day, and we're, in our minds, we know we got an amazing company. We're growing fast. We're profitable at a very early time in our, the company's lifetime. So we're confident, but we're always, we're skeptical. Like if we've got all these, we've practiced all our answers to the hard questions because, there's going to be hard questions, and we're ready for the answers because we've watched Shark Tank and we've seen people get totally destroyed, and we did not want to be the people on TV forever that got destroyed, and have a compilation on YouTube or something.
Yeah,
so
I've seen those.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you would have seen us probably
Mhm.
by now if we've done something stupid. But we
Right.
were just very careful about it, and we went up and not expecting much. Our expectations weren't high because we don't like to be disappointed. So and we, spoiler alert for anybody. Should I spoil it right now? It's fine. I mean, it's old episode.
Up to you.
Yeah. So it's an old episode. So
Okay.
um, we get up there, we pitch, and the sharks up there was Mark Cuban, Damon John, um, Peter Jones, who's a British shark from the TV show Dragon's Den back in England,
Okay. Yeah. I've heard of
um,
that show.
Kevin O'Leary, and then I forgot her name, Lori.
Yeah.
So those were the
That's
five
awesome.
sharks that were up there, and
Wow.
we give our spiel and stuff, and they asked us just a couple of questions, and then they asked us our numbers, and at the time, we had generated 1.7 million, I think at the time. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't have a good memory of what we were back then, but so they were very impressed by that. And then we get an offer from Peter Jones. And what people don't know is in the background, you can hear all the producers that helped you get on the show. They start cheering in the background. It's very distracting, actually. But so they're on your side. It's really nice. But
That's cool.
yeah, and then we're like, wow, we got an offer. We were like shocked that we got an offer because we watched so many episodes of people just getting destroyed. So it's like you have that worst scenario in your mind.
Yeah.
And then then another shark, Damon John, makes a deal, or makes an offer, sorry, um, that beats out Peter Jones' deal. And then Kevin and Mark, they're whispering in the corner, really distracting while I'm trying to talk to one of the sharks. And then they come in and ask to come in together on a deal, both of them. So we're like, our minds are blown at this point. We don't
Yeah.
even know what to do because we're in shock on TV. It's honestly like a very weird feeling just watching that for so long and then
Imagine.
being there. And then they decide like they want to get all four of them together, everybody but Lori, on a deal for 40% for 500,000, which brings down our valuation. We went in with 10% for 400,000. So it brings it down from like 4 million valuation down to like 1.2 million or something.
So what was your profit at the time?
So our profit at the time was 9%.
9%.
Yeah,
So
and
it's
on the
pretty
show,
thin profit margin.
yeah, and even they asked us. They said, "Is that before you pay yourselves?" He said, "That's obviously before you or after you pay yourselves." And I was like, "No, that's before we pay ourselves." And they're like, "Oh, um, but it's we're a young company at that point. Really, just been
Yeah.
around for a year at that point.
Right.
Yeah, just a year at that point. So it's a very
Yeah.
young company, and we're still young. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, we get a deal, and we take a deal with four sharks for 40% for 500,000.
Wow.
Um, yeah, and to make a long story short, it's a long process that takes afterwards, and we were getting to the point where
Right.
um, we actually started like we have a lot of things we need to do to move forward. We've got like we need to redesign our website. We've got our orders are increasing, and we still have a very pretty primitive website. It's not on Shopify anymore. Um, so it's like, but it's not good enough at all to handle the orders we're getting. So
What'd you
that
move to
takes.
after Shopify?
We moved to Wix, and the
Really?
the nice thing about Wix is it's very programmable.
Really?
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
never heard that move before from Shopify to Wix.
yeah,
Okay,
and
so they
because
must have made
because
it
we're a
more flexible
service,
now. Okay.
yeah, it's a lot more lot more programmable. So we
I think
you know
Shopify's changed a lot on that programmability front lately, but go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, they might have, and honestly they might be good now. It might be something to look at. But I mean, we're a
Yeah.
service. We're kind of like, if you're a service, you have to have pretty good technology to deal with customers and stuff like that. With Shopify, if you have a product, it's perfect. But if you
Yeah.
have a digital service, it's not so great. Maybe it's changed. But,
Yeah.
so anyway, it took very long for them to get back with us, and they're just because they're reviewing stuff and they're busy, and it's nothing. nothing we're resentful over, but we really had to tell them like, hey, either we get this deal like now, or we just get no deal at all. And we literally sent an email telling them this, and they basically just said, all right, um, like we feel like the help you need, other than monetary help, we don't feel like we can provide that. And we told them at the time on the show that, we're looking for business help in general because we're not business people. We're learning as we go right now, But we've
Gotcha.
already made a company this successful with very little business knowledge. We've learned what we've learned as we've created this business. And basically, the deal was done at that point. And
Wow.
we were actually at the time, after waiting so long, we were happy, very happy about that, because we wanted to hit the ground running with stuff we wanted to do. And we ended up, what happened afterwards was to update the website, which is one of the things we told the sharks we wanted the money, to use to upgrade the website. I basically spent the next like 5 months learning JavaScript while creating the website, and programmed the entire website myself while my
Really?
wife did the design. Yeah. I literally
Whoa.
learned JavaScript from scratch, knew nothing about it, and just did it myself.
That's crazy. So what made you choose to go down that path instead of hiring a web developer or something like that, an
Yeah.
agency or?
So we initially hired a web developer for our Wix site, but it just wasn't. Can you hear me, by the way?
Yeah, it just clipped for a second, but I can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. Um, yeah, because I think my headphones are dying, and I'll just have to switch to
Oh,
a different
okay.
microphone.
All right.
Um, yeah, we hired one initially, but it was a very low cost programmer, and they didn't do a great job. And I just started messing around with it, and over time, I just started to figure it out, the coding for it, and just started doing it on my own. And it was a very long. I mean, I was working 12 hours a day trying to optimize this, and I decided to do this because of saving money. Creating a
Yeah.
custom website cost probably something like $100,000. I got a couple of quotes before I started doing that, and I was like, that's just too much money for us. We have no
All right.
outside funding. This is still our own money. We're putting all profit back into the company, and we got to do this efficiently. So
And at that time, you were both full time into the company.
yeah, we're both full time into the
Okay.
company. Yeah, so we're spending all
Okay. Well,
day on this nonstop.
so I guess if you're spending 5 months full time learning JavaScript, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
and it wasn't learning JavaScript like independently. I was doing it as I was building the website.
Yeah.
So it was just like watching a video, doing it on the website, watching it, testing it constantly. And that's why I say, if I could go back to school, I'd be a programmer 100%. It's such a useful skill. There's nothing
Yeah.
like it. If you're doing civil engineering like I did, don't do it. No, I'm just kidding. You should still do it, but programming is so useful.
Yeah. For any digital business or just business in general, you can leverage digital media or the internet much better if you have those programming skills for
Oh,
sure.
big time, big time.
Get the robots on your side.
Yeah, and I'm still not like, obviously I'm not amazing at it, but I know enough to do a lot of stuff. Our website's completely custom and does a lot of things. So
Wow. And are you still working on the website yourself, or have you outsourced that part?
no, I still do it on my own, when I need to, but really it kind of runs itself at this point. But obviously there's small maintenance stuff here and there and changes that we do, and I do it. It doesn't Not a lot of stuff that takes me long, but obviously with eventually we're gonna have some major updates, and then we'll probably hire that out.
Yeah. Incredible story. And so once you ended the deal with the Sharks, that was how long after was it? You said about 6 months, was it? After being
Yes,
on the show,
six
that
months
deal was over.
around December. Yeah.
Okay. And then how much did it grow, or how fast did it grow from that point on
Yeah, a lot
to
of
show
people
them
ask
what they missed out on? Okay.
like what happens after Shark Tank airs, and when Shark Tank airs, obviously it's just like the most traffic we've ever had on the website. Right
Wow.
initially after it, yeah, and every time it re-airs, you get a huge boost, like about half of the peak
Wow.
every time it airs. So it airs like so far it's aired like every 2 or 3 months. So every time it airs, it's like a huge like boost for us. It's really great.
That's
It's
amazing.
yeah,
I never
zero
thought
hour.
about that with being on a show like that, a series that is in syndication. Yeah, you'll get the residual bump every time it airs.
Yeah, it's pretty great. It's pretty great,
Wow.
and it costs us nothing every time. So it's really great. Um,
So is it free to be on the show, or do they pay to be on the show, or can you give any of that kind of insight? What's that part?
yeah, I mean it's free. It's free to be on the show, and you don't pay, and they don't pay you. I mean
Right, because they
they give
know
you.
the marketing boost you're getting.
Yeah, it's a benefit for both. Yeah, but I mean all they pay for is the ticket to fly there, and they give you a stipend for the day. That's
Oh, okay,
yeah,
cool.
that's all. That's all it is. But it's a huge boost for us. So we're very grateful for Shark Tank, and
Wow.
and we love the show. I don't know if you watch it often.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's a
That
great show.
yeah, one of my favorite for sure. Um, okay, so you got the Shark Tank boost, giving you the every couple months spike. What are some of the other channels that you're seeing? You said Google, Facebook. Are there any other things you're using to get leads and customers?
Yeah, we're starting to tap into TikTok in the past 6 months or so, um, and this is why like again with the ad buying, so important to hire someone who knows how to ad buy really well if you want to get ads at a good cost. And once someone gets to a point to where they can hire that out, I think they should immediately do it. It's just hard to work through. Um, you gotta sift through a lot of advertisers out there who are just very mediocre, and you need someone great to be able to get you a good return on your ad spend. And basically, that's what we did. Like, about a year ago, we hired someone to run our ads, and so our avenues are TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and Google, and that's our main four right now. We haven't tried podcasts advertising.
Okay.
Um, a lot of that can get pretty pricey early on, but it's something we're probably going to be looking into soon. But once we hired that guy to run our ads, uh, our revenue and our return on ads spend has increased like threefold. It's been
Wow.
it's been it's been so much better, and it's just growing since. So
Amazing. I think I've seen ads. I don't know if it's your ads, but I've definitely seen ads for a service that does this. I
yeah,
think
yeah,
some kind
yeah.
of
I'm sure.
songwriting or like they look like highly produced commercials. Have you guys done anything like that, or is that a competitor or?
Yeah, so I mean, we've done some highly produced commercials, but what you're, I'm not sure if you're talking about ours or not. Uh, there, there's a there, there's a lot of people like so the custom song space is basically new. I mean, the way it is now.
Yeah.
Like we said on when we were on Shark Tank, they asked us about this, and we told them, custom songs are a very old thing. I mean, they used to do the I forgot what they were called, but they used to tell the what are they called, the grams with the songs. The
Oh yeah. Like a like a songgram or whatever, telegrams, the
yeah, something like that. But I forgot what they're called.
singogram.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Stringogram, something like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, that stuff was it's been going on for a long time. So even when we came into space, there was a couple other. Most of it was individual musicians just doing themselves, not offering a lot of musicians, and the price was kind of high. And then there was a couple of businesses that are doing what we're doing now, except it wasn't custom, but it was like you plug in your name. It's a chorus, like for example, you get the same chorus. Every person gets the same chorus. You just change a name in the verse or something like that. So you choose your song, and that's kind of what mainly was there back then. But we do have one main competitor now, and the they're highly funded, as opposed to us who are not funded at all. So they have a lot of money to
Yeah.
spend on
Gotcha.
advertising and stuff. But
Because you
overall,
guys are bootstrapped. I mean, because you didn't get the Shark Tank investment, so you've
yeah, we're
totally
yeah
bootstrapped it all the way.
bootstrapped from the beginning. But I will
Wow.
say that percentage wise, our reviews are the best in the custom song industry, and
There
and
you go.
I'm not just saying that; it's for a good reason. And my wife and I, we did the first 500 custom songs for the company, and
Wow.
we've also done we did 500 when we first around when we first started, and then we've done 1,000 in total, and so we have a lot of experience with stuff people like and stuff they don't. We've got a lot of feedback from customers, which is such an important thing to take and try to optimize the product. And we've approved over 30,000 songs through our quality control system with the artist. So we have very stringent standards and procedures to creating songs. We specifically have very detailed handbook for the artist on what guidelines to follow when creating a song. Although they stick to their creativity and their style, but there's certain things that we make sure that every song has before we send it to the customer, and that's why our review we have like 7,000 reviews total, including like Google reviews and our own reviews, and it's like 4.9 out of 5-star rating, and a lot of that
That's
is because of
awesome.
those standards that we set.
How many customers have you had over the course of the business so far?
About 30,000.
Whoa. 30,000 customers.
Yeah.
And that's over 2.5 years.
Yep.
Totally bootstrapped. That's awesome, man.
Appreciate it.
Um,
Yeah, it shocks
how
us too.
big do you think you're headed? Like, what do you have an idea of how the size that you're aiming for, or are you just kind of going for the ride?
Well, we definitely, it's a hard question to answer because, um, you know, you, once again, like me personally, I'm a skeptical person, and I try to be realistic about. But we're looking for, this year our revenue goal this year is 10 million, um,
Awesome.
and within the next 5 years, we want to be, and 5 years from now, we want to be hitting 80 to 100 million per year. And the reason why I think we can
Wow.
do this is for a couple of reasons. Um, we've seen it. We've seen this custom song industry grow, and we're one of the first people in this industry. And not only that, but just for example, if you SEO wise, like just to see who's popular in the space, we're number one when you search custom songs on Google organic.
Wow.
So we're at the forefront in it, and it's growing a lot. Um, so there's a lot of revenue to be made there, but also this is only done in English so far. I mean,
Oh, wow.
So for example, we advertise in India, English, English speaking, like
Right.
customers for English songs. But I mean, um, the Hindi music industry is massive, and people in India just love Bollywood music, and it's massive over there. And something like this would be really a great fit for India. And we're already in the talks with some people that are from over there to get started on our Hindi version of this.
Wow.
And then there's Arabic, there's Spanish. Spanish we already kind of delved into a little bit, but all these other areas of expansion, there's just there's so many people to reach, and our customer base is really anybody.
Yeah. So what's the price point now?
So right now, for example, a um, it starts at 180 $180. So
Okay.
for an acoustic song that's 2 minutes long, professionally mixed and not, professionally home mixed and mastered, is
Yeah.
$180.
And do they have the rights to it? Like if they wanted to put it on iTunes or whatever, like distribute it?
They can't distribute it. We can distribute it. The artist keeps the rights, and
Oh, okay.
yeah. So Ellen and I are artists, or we're not artists, but we're music artists. At
Yeah.
least we call ourselves that. And keeping rights is something a lot of artists find that's very important to them. Um,
Sure.
I mean, they hold the rights to their song very sacred, and even just talking to them, they really really care about it, even more than Ellen and I initially cared for ourselves, our copyrights. It's just it's the ownership to the song, and so we decided very early on they keep the rights to the song. But
Okay.
if the customer wants to distribute it to Spotify and stuff, we offer that as an add-on. So we can put it on. We have a
I
Spotify
see.
page, and we put it on there so they can play it from anywhere, in their car and stuff like that.
Okay. But so the customer's just paying for the song to be created, but if there's any like money from downloads or, the little small percentage that all those platforms pay, that goes to the artist.
Well, because of how many streams we get, we don't even we don't even have that set up. And the reason is it gets there.
Gotcha.
There's
It's such a
never more than
small,
yeah, it's such a small pie. And I mean, Spotify pays
yeah,
almost
point,
nothing. So
yeah, it's
we
point zero
basically
zero zero something.
yeah, it's like 0.0038, something like that. It's
Yeah.
ridiculously low, and we have basically their payout built in the pay that we give the artist in the first place. So they'll make more money just from that payment than they'll ever make
Right.
on Spotify because there'll never be enough
Yeah.
streams. So
Right. Because it would be a rare situation, unless some maybe celebrity paid you guys to make a song and they like put it on their social profile and it got 1 million downloads or something crazy like that.
yeah, if that and in that case they still own the copyrights to the song, so they can register it themselves and
Yeah.
get paid, how they want. So
Have you noticed anything similar to that where maybe like a notable person used the service and you saw it get some social attention or something?
yeah, a couple, yeah. We've
Okay.
early on we had someone from my 90 Day Fiance.
Oh,
You ever
okay.
seen that show?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was actually I don't know nothing about 90 Day Fiance or 60 Day Fiance, whatever it's called, but
Right.
he had a song made announcing his baby. He was having another baby
Oh,
with the
okay.
90 Day Fiance woman that he married,
Okay.
and I didn't think it was a big deal at all. But then he posted it, and it got thousands upon thousands, and there was articles written about it, about how he announced he's having a baby. It was like a big deal.
So that just creates
So
more
yeah,
exposure and people checking it out.
yeah, exactly. I think my headphones are dying. Let me
Okay.
try to switch
Yeah.
this over. Sorry about that.
Okay. I can hear you. There he is. Mm-hmm. Maybe we can give it a second. Now we're getting an echo. Let's see. Mute your mic for just a minute. All right. Um, we covered a good bit of stuff, so maybe this is a good place to end it. So that gives us a chance to figure out some technical issues. But Omayya, I just want to say thank you for being on the show. It's been an incredible story, and definitely want to stay in touch and learn more about how you guys are doing and how you guys grow from here. And you can unmute and respond as you feel to. Yep. That was good, man. All right. Thanks.